time for our April wrap-up. The month always goes by so fast. Every time we sit here and we get ready for the wrap-up, it just doesn't feel like that time has passed. But we did have a great reading month. We read some good books. We read some okay books. So we're gonna go over all the books we read in April.
Okay, so I have a little bit of explaining to do because out of the 8 books that I picked for this month's TBR, I only ended up reading 3 of them. I'm gonna go ahead and blame Kindle Unlimited because it's the first month that I had it. So I kind of started prioritizing ebooks a little more. Today I decided to put my books in rating order. So I'm gonna go from my highest rated book to my lowest rated book for the month. So up first, loud and proud, you guys already know that I gave this book 5 stars this month. This is Zodiac Academy Fated Throne by Caroline Peckham and Suzanne Valenti, 6th book in the Zodiac Academy series. You guys know I love this series despite popular opinion. I do think this series is so entertaining and addictive. Yes, it is trashy, but I love it with all my heart. We have 2 twin sisters who grew up in the mortal realm. On their 18th birthday, they find out they're actually fae and they have to learn how to harness their power and defend the throne from the 4 heirs trying to steal it. It's fun, it's spicy, I love them with all my heart. Each book gets better and better. I will defend the series till the day I die. But yeah, starting off strong with a 5-star book for this month.
Since you started with your 5-star read, that just means I have to start with my 5-star read as well, and that is the Mind F series by St. Abby. In this book, our female character is a serial killer and the guy is an FBI agent working on her case. I do read a lot of romance books and mystery thriller books, so it was kind of cool to see both of those genres in one. I think that's also what kept it so entertaining. We actually both read these 2 books in our reading blog this month, so we did go into a little bit more depth in that video. I really just can't believe I waited so long to read this. It's been out forever and I'm barely reading it. I knew you loved it. I knew so many people in the book community loved it. It was super entertaining from the start to the end. There's 5 different books in this physical copy and it was like each book ended with a shock factor that made you immediately need to jump to the next book. So even though this is a thicker book, it was really fast paced and so much fun. This book is also the book that really got me hooked onto my Kindle. Because this is a thicker book, I was gravitated towards my Kindle at night because I didn't want to like hold this. So you've heard from both of us by now that we both really love this series, so we definitely recommend this one, but do check your trigger warnings, please.
Yes, please. So up next, I do have a book that was actually on my TBR for the month, and it is The Predator by Runex. I did give this a 4.5 stars, which is pretty much a perfect book on my scales. You guys know I have been on the hunt. I have been desperately searching for a mafia romance that I actually loved, and I finally found it. So first in here we have Tristan Kane. He is high up in the mob. He is lethal and well known. And then we have Morena. She is the daughter of the rival family and she is extremely smart. Basically what Tristan can do with weapons, she can do with computers. The book starts off with Morena breaking into Tristan's home intent on killing him. We also have a 20-year-old mystery that resurfaces and basically Tristan and Morena have to work together in order to uncover what happened. This was fantastic in my opinion. I love that we actually got a storyline that wasn't just an arranged marriage. We also got a super strong female main character and a mystery thrown in there, so it really has everything that I love. And this was actually the book that made me purchase Kindle Unlimited because as soon as I finished this one, I immediately jumped in to book 2, The Reaper. This is a continuation of Tristan and Morena. Loved it just as much. I gave this one a 4-star and I do want to continue with the series. The other books in the series are about different characters, but I already know that I love them, so I can't wait to read those. All in all, this is so good so far. Go pick it up if you're looking for a good mafia romance. This is a little bit darker though, so definitely check trigger warnings if you need to. I honestly can't tell if these were extremely good or if just my bar was set so low for mafia romances that this was the first one that I actually liked. I don't know, you guys let me know if you read these, but I am loving this series. I definitely want to get the rest.
I think I stuck to everything I said I was going to read in the TBR.
Okay.
But I was supposed to get all of those done plus more. Up next, I have The Housemaid's Secret by Frida McFadden. This is the sequel that just came out. I know with the first book, I thought it was super predictable and a lot of people were saying they couldn't see it coming. And I'm like, how could you not see that coming, right? And then I read this one and I'm like, this one got me. And everyone else in the reviews is like, this was so predictable. I'm shocked by that because I'm like, there's no way you guys saw this coming. Frida McFadden is definitely very popular right now in the mystery thriller genre and I totally understand why. Her books are super fast paced. This is only 300 pages. The chapters are very short so it's easy to just keep going. And these books were following a housemaid named Millie and ever every house that she's working for kind of has something deeper going on than just her being a regular housemaid. They're super fun though. I mean, this is just a quick mystery thriller. I also like in this one we did get a little bit of a romance in it as well. The main character and her man are honestly just like perfect. I honestly think these two books would be really great as adaptations, and I normally hate thinking about books to adaptations, but I can see this happening. I think it would be a really good show, so I'm sure they're in the works of it, like they are with everything else.
You guys know I've been making my way through the Harry Potter books for the first time since I grew up loving this series. This month I read Prisoner of Azkaban, and this was my favorite movie for a long time, so seeing it in book form was insane. The book did not disappoint. I did give this one a 4-star, and if I am comparing them to the books, I thought the first two movies pretty much followed their books very closely, and then with this one, I think it had the most differences. I felt like there was a lot more information in the book than in the movie for this adaptation, and it makes me wonder if from here on out, like with every book, does more and more get cut out. I am kind of interested now to see in the new adaptation series, will they be including some of the stuff that they did leave out of the movies? And if we're gonna get a deep dive into characters that we didn't even touch on in the movies. Super good though. I want to continue reading this series, and I'm still trying to find them secondhand so I can have all the physical copies.
Up next is my blind book pick for the month. It was Behind Closed Doors by B.A. Paris. This was her debut novel, and I had no idea. After I found that out, I was like, okay, 4 stars for sure. Because it was a 3.5, but I mean, come on. Debut?
Yeah.
I do think this was a very entertaining psychological drama. I don't think I would really call it a mystery thriller. The plot was just like super intense. In this book, we're just following the perfect couple. They're that couple to everyone else, but you know, behind closed doors, there's always things going on. The author does a great job of setting everything up. We are going in past and present in the chapters, and we are following the perfect wife, Grace. We can see everything that's truly going on behind closed doors, all the drama that's happening. This was another book that was like, you're just rooting for the main character. I could guess what was gonna happen in the very end, but I was still super entertained all the way through. The last page was so good. I was so happy to see so many people loved it on Goodreads too.
Up next, I have And Then They Were None by the Queen of Mystery herself, Miss Agatha Christie. This was my first book of hers, and I did give it 4 stars. In this book, we do have 10 strangers who are all invited to a remote island under false pretenses. Once they get there, they all learn that they do have one thing in common, and they start getting picked off one by one, and the rest of them basically just have to come together and try to figure out what's happening. I will say, I think I messed up my own experience while reading this, because as soon as I noticed that the writing was kind of set up like a play, I thought it would be easier for myself if I listened to the audiobook, knowing that I don't do that well with audiobooks because I can't really focus. I think because of that, I had a huge disconnect from the characters and the story for a large chunk of the book. Towards the second half, I finally decided I just needed to pick up the book and read it, and once I did that, I was instantly hooked. I kind of just wish I would have done that from the beginning. I did enjoy it though. I was not expecting the end, and I actually really liked how it ended. I do want to read more books by her, and this time I know her writing and I'll actually sit down and like read the whole thing, but it was very good. They made a TV adaptation for this, and I heard it's really good, so I do want to watch it now that I know what's gonna happen. But I would say overall, a great first Agatha Christie book, and I can't wait to read more by her.
I just finished Restore Me and the Shatter Me series. You guys, the ending, I can't even comprehend what I read. I'm still like, what just happened? I'm immediately continuing on with the series just because I need answers. I need to know what's gonna happen next. I feel like this book ended abruptly, so now I feel like I have to go on to the next one right away. This is the 4th book in the series, and I know originally the author only wanted to do 3, so it was interesting to see where her idea was going with this book. I did enjoy that the romance in this one was kind of like a subplot, and we had a lot more things going on just with like the politics, and there were secrets coming to light. It just felt more dramatic and it was super fast paced. So I'm definitely going to be reading the next one next month.
Alright, coming in next with a 3.5 stars, we have my blind book for the month, and this was The Lies I Tell by Gillian French. This one was so surprisingly good. This is a YA mystery set in a small town. There was a huge tragic fire that took place and took out the entire Garrison family except for one. Everyone in the town kind of points their finger at the town drunk who is Pearl's dad. She is determined though to uncover the truth because she knows he's innocent. The entire summer she kind of gets close with the country club boys and close to Tristan Garrison, who also just wants to uncover the truth about his family. I thought it was so good. I will say though, it was definitely YA. I didn't necessarily love the ending, but the reveal was good and it was still a fast-paced read. It was set in the summertime, so it kind of did get me into like the salty summer warm mood. I did buddy read this one with my friend Bailey though, and I'm ready to see her thoughts. But overall, I thought it was really good. 3.5 for me.
Up next, we have Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. This one was our first book club book. We got to read this with all of our literal bestie book club members, and that experience in itself was so much fun. It was super cool to see what you guys thought after every single chapter, and it was fun to like hate Aaron together.
Yes.
Like every single chapter update, we were all just like, can Aaron leave? Like, we're so tired of him. This is a college sports romance book. Those are always super fun, trashy, easy, perfect books to read.
I did also think it was solid. I think what made the experience better for me though was reading it with everyone because I don't think this necessarily would have been one that I would have picked up on my own. We are following Anastasia. She is a figure skater trying to get into the Olympics, and Nathan, the college hockey team captain. They end up having to share the same ice skating rink and have to work together. It was fun. It was cute.
It was cute.
It was very spicy though.
I was not expecting the level of spiciness, and I wasn't expecting it to move so fast. I would like for us to personally apologize if you were not ready for that, because we were not prepared for that either.
You should have known based off the cartoon cover and the reputation that those have. However, I do feel a little bit bad because a lot of people were kind of like, whoa,
Yeah.
this is a lot.
Yeah.
And it was. I think it had its moments. There were things I didn't love, but things that were really cool. I do think it's one of those books that had really interesting side characters, and I almost liked them more than our main characters.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I can see this being like the off-campus series and
Yes.
the Prior You series where, you know, you get to know the other guys and you start to love them and you want to see like their relationships. I think I would continue on with the next book.
I don't think I would, but if you absolutely love it, I know Henry's getting a book, and I really liked his character, so maybe I'd read that one.
Overall, this was a super fun, super cute pick. If you weren't into this, our next genre is going to be mystery thriller. You guys voted for Daisy Darker. The link to that will be in the description.
Next, we have another book we both read this month, and it is Indigo Ridge by Debbie Perry, book 1 in the Eden series. This one, I don't know. I was a little disappointed because it's such a hyped series.
This is one of those books that has a romance but also a mystery thriller, and because we both loved the Mind F series, we were super hyped about this because that obviously means it won't get boring because there's a lot going on. You would think that's what would happen, but you started this book before I did, and you were saying that the romance like isn't there, like you weren't feeling it. And I was hoping like maybe I'll feel different because normally we don't feel the same way. And when I was reading this, I completely understood. I didn't feel like they had a great connection.
They just had it there to say that it's a romance.
Yeah, and it was forced, it was fast, it didn't make sense. It didn't need to be there actually. The book could have been fine without it. Yeah, in this small town there's also like a mystery going on. I think that part kept me entertained.
The only issue with that was the mystery fell flat for me as well. I do think the ending was plausible, but I did not like the reveal. The writing just did not hit the mark for me.
I do really enjoy small town books, and I like when there is a small town, you get to really know the next characters, and I feel like we didn't really get to know who the next book was going to be about. You kind of read about it in the end. I don't know them enough to be like, I want to pick this up. I know a lot of people did say they liked the second book a lot more. Let us know if y'all read this book. Did y'all like this one? Did you love the second one even more? Did you hate it? I don't know.
Lastly, you guys, I have possibly the worst book I've ever read in my entire life. And I feel bad for saying that because I know this author is super loved. The whole reason I even wanted to read this book was because you really liked the books you read by this author. Everyone in our reading sprint was saying they were reading a book by this author, and this has amazing reviews on Goodreads. I don't know if I picked up like the wrong version of this book, but it was not for me. And it was The Inmate by Frida McFadden. I do want to preference this by saying no hate to the authors ever. I always hate talking crap about books I didn't like because it's always so opinionated. Just because I didn't like it doesn't mean that it's a bad book. I just had a bad time reading it. We're following a girl named Brooke, and she is the new nurse practitioner in a men's maximum security prison. She really only took this job at the prison because it was the best option available for her at the time, but the issue is one of this prison's most notorious and dangerous inmates is not only her high school sweetheart, but the reason why he's in there is because of her, okay? Such a good setup. I was like, oh, this is gonna be good, it's gonna be juicy, it's gonna be crazy, because now you're stuck in a prison with a guy you put there. It just sounds like a recipe for disaster. I was all for it. Everyone was talking great things about this book. I did read this on Kindle super fast. I would say the one positive side was that I read it in one sitting, super fast paced. The only issue is everything else. I honestly just think her writing is so not for me. It felt like she was trying so hard to make you think one thing so that when that doesn't happen at the end, it could be labeled as like a twist, right? She was spelling so many little things out for us. It got so repetitive that it felt redundant at that point. I had to keep checking to make sure this wasn't YA, not because of the content, but just because the writing was so painfully obvious. And I don't know why she kept doing that. I don't know why she thinks the reader needs that. We don't. I did just keep reading it because of the good reviews. I thought, surely this is gonna get better. Surely the ending is gonna be insane for it to have this many good reviews, and I just felt like as I was reading, it got worse and worse and just more ridiculous. I did give this one a 2 stars, but I do want to say though, I rate books off of my own experience with them, but this one just wasn't a good time for me. It was awful. It got more and more ridiculous. I was laughing out loud at some parts just because it was absurd. But I mean, it was a fast read. I don't know if it was just the book that I picked out by her, but I'm not in any rush to read any others by her.
No, I kind of want to read it to see if I love it.
Yeah, compared
or
to
if
that.
I understand.
I've never read anything like that, and I never want to read anything like that again. So 2 stars, but it's alright.
Well, I'm sorry that Freida McFadden did you like that.
It's okay.
Let us know if you read that and you feel the same way.
Yeah, please let me know if it's just me. But that's all the books we read this month, you guys. Some good ones, some great ones, some that will never be mentioned again.
So our favorite for the month, mine was the Mind Up series, of course.
I'm gonna say mine are both of these, the Darkverse series and Zodiac. They were both so good.
Comment down below and let us know what your favorite book of April was. On Friday, we will be doing our May TBR, but we're gonna do it a little differently. We have decided that we're each going to pick out each other's TBR for the month.
Which is terrifying.
Which is very scary, yes. So keep an eye out for that.
That's gonna be it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to join our book club if you haven't yet. We're gonna kick off May today.
Yeah.
With our new book. So definitely check out that link. Also, make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you next time.
It is time for our April wrap-up. You had a great reading month.
I don't know why you keep saying that. I did not. Is this book even in frame?
Oh
Was
my
it?
God.
I'm gonna switch it to this hand.
We will get it one month, I promise.
One of these months, we say it so often, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, it has to happen.
I did buddy read this with my friend Bailey though, and I don't know. We did. Okay.
We did.
Oh my God.
How was that?
I don't know.
I think this was like the only light book I read this month that was just kind of like, you know, a silly fun rom-com, which is why I think I liked it a little more than it deserves. No, I'm not
Yes.
So I mean, maybe I would continue. I don't know. Super cute cover though.
Whoa. I'll have my phone out.
That's all I wanted to say.
Okay.
This is super cute cover though. I wish I like really loved them so I'd get them all and they'd look nice on my shelf.
The entire series has good covers, and that's very disappointing. I had super high hopes for this one, and at 2.5, and you're welcome.